100 of the most influential figures shaping the global sports landscape. And there he is, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, on the list. No, truly, I'm not joking.
The real reason why Meghan Markle made that totally bizarre Instagram post overnight.
That Harry would like to have a presence in the UK, that he was coming back to the UK to promote the Invictus Games.
Meghan Markle's royal dream is all but over as Harry braces himself for a similar humiliating fate to his disgraced uncle Andrew.
Time magazine had just dropped their big interview with Harry, and she wasn't part of it. It was as if she didn't exist. And so what does she do? Somehow get together a whole load of photos that she knew was going to steal the attention away. It's the flood the zone strategy. But when you're doing it to take away publicity from your own husband, there's certainly a more twisted aspect to it. That's before we even get to the to the pictures themselves, Tash.
A man who has never competed professionally in any sport, never coached a team, never won a single thing on any field, court, or track in his life. He was named one of the most influential people in sport, alongside LeBron James. Nearly 1,000 people immediately asked the same question. Did he buy it?
Prince Harry, a leader in sport. We'll just pause for a minute here, insiders. I have long said that the establishment had to give Prince Harry some purpose. They had to create something so he could do something. Otherwise, he sat pressing all the little strawberries together for Meghan, getting a white label off, whacking it on a jam pot, and that's it.
On June the 9th, Time magazine unveiled what they called the inaugural Time 100 Sports list, 100 of the most influential figures shaping global sport. LeBron James was on it, Lionel Messi, Stephen Curry, Caitlin Clark, Dana White, the man who took a struggling organization called the UFC and built it into a multi-billion-dollar empire through sheer, relentless hard work.
Time magazine is one of the most recognizable media brands in the world. They've just launched a brand new list. This never-before list never ever existed, and on its very first outing, Prince Harry is on it. Right, okay. He is not listed as an athlete though. He has never won anything in his life. He is listed, wait for it, in the leaders category, alongside Dana White, the man who built the UFC from nothing into a global sporting empire, and Stephen Curry, one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
And then Prince Harry, not in the athlete section. That would have been impossible to justify. Harry was placed in the leaders category, alongside people who have given their entire lives to building something real in sport. The internet did not take long to respond. Nearly 957 people liked one single comment that read, "Why has Harry got an award for sport? Did he buy it?" That is not a fringe opinion. That is the most liked comment in the entire reaction to this story. 517 people agreed with another that said, "Do the people at Time magazine even know he is not an athlete or a coach of any kind?"
Yeah, but I mean, you saw Dan. He's been listed as a sports personality in Time magazine, you know?
We're going to come to that. Trust me, we're going to come to that because it is a total cringe moment.
That question turns out to be more important than it sounds, because answering it honestly takes you somewhere. Time magazine has absolutely no interest in going, but we're going there today.
So Time magazine has published a glowing article, okay? Harry talking about the power of sport, Harry talking about changing lives, Harry talking about the veterans who apparently come up to him and say, Invictus saved their life. Wow.
Before we talk about the money, the magazine, and the man behind it all, there is someone you need to know about first. Because his story is the truth that sits behind every single award Harry has ever collected. His name is Scott Snow, retired Canadian Navy diver, a man who served his country faithfully, survived 12 military surgeries, and spent years battling PTSD and depression. In 2023, Invictus chose him as the poster boy for Team Canada at the Games in Dusseldorf, Germany. His face was in the promotional videos. His story was used to sell the entire event to the world. He talked about his 2 daughters, his surgeries, his struggle, his hope.
Today, I'm talking to Scott Snow, a 43-year-old retired Canadian Navy diver, an Invictus competitor, and the poster boy for Team Canada in Dusseldorf. He was featured in the official promotional video for the Games. He talked about his 2 daughters, his battle with PTSD and depression, and the 12 surgeries he had already undergone for his service-related injuries before he ever set foot in Germany. He went to Dusseldorf to compete in archery, rowing, and wheelchair rugby.
Imagine training for months for that, carrying all of that history just to get to the starting line, representing your country one more time. In his very first wheelchair rugby match, the chair Scott Snow had been given had no restraint strap. It toppled backwards. He hit the court and fractured his cervical spine, his lumbar spine, tore his quadricep muscle, and suffered head trauma.
And during his very first wheelchair rugby match, the chair he was using, which had no restraint strap, toppled backwards. His head and back slammed into the court floor under the weight of his 250-pound frame. He finished the game not knowing the full extent of what had just happened to him. He came home to Canada and found out he had fractured his cervical and lumbar spine, torn his quadriceps, and suffered head trauma.
Then came the second injury, the one nobody filmed. He contacted his Invictus support team. He called them. He emailed them. He waited. He called again. Not one person ever called him back. When he finally found out why, it turned out that veterans on the Invictus team had no automatic medical insurance whatsoever. Only serving military members were covered. Veterans, the very people Invictus claims to exist for, were told in fine print to arrange their own private insurance. Most had no idea. Scott Snow could not afford to adapt his home for his new injuries. He moved into a retirement facility at nearly $5,000 a month. He had to stop some of his therapy altogether simply because he could no longer pay for it.
He's had 2 surgeries since. His mobility has been so severely reduced that he has had to move into a retirement home just to get around. And he was not covered by a single dollar of insurance. If Scott had been a currently serving Canadian Armed Air Force member, every cent would have been covered. But he was a veteran. And veterans, it turns out, were not insured in a game for veterans.
He is now suing the government for $2.4 million. The organization that put his face on their posters, they stopped returning his calls. His own words, and remember these because they matter. I feel like I have been left behind twice. That is what Harry just received a major global award for leading.
Scott now has filed a $2.4 million lawsuit against the Department of National Defense and the Canadian Armed Forces for rehabilitation costs, accessibility needs, pain and suffering, and loss of income.
Now let us talk about the numbers because this is where it becomes personal for everyone watching. The Vancouver Invictus Games, the most recent event before Birmingham, cost $63 million to host 543 competitors. When a researcher attempted to obtain the official budget document to find out exactly where that $63 million went, she received the document. And where every financial figure should have been, the numbers have been redacted, blacked out, removed.
A growing scandal involving Prince Harry and his last remaining genuine charity project, the Invictus Games. But is it really a charity project at all? Is it just being used as a money-making scheme? And is Invictus about to join the list of charities, including African Parks and Centre Bali, that actually will do far, far better with no dodgy involvement from the disgraceful Duke? This is certainly something which is being ignored by the mainstream media. However, there is movement. Look at this from Meg Yacht Grifter, who is now calling on a boycott of the Invictus Games, saying there is something not sitting right with this charity. Charities that have something to hide should not be trusted, especially with so much NGO fraud being exposed in the last few years, and they are calling on Boeing and American Airlines to think twice before donating. When they said Invictus is a scam, the veterans are being used for PR, privately funded faux trips with lavish accommodations and Meghan's merchandising schemes. That's not how charities work.
Now here is the number that should make every American watching furious. The United States Wounded Warriors Program, which supports veterans every single day, 365 days a year, runs on a budget of $2 million annually. Invictus spent $63 million on one event and left Scott Snow paying his surgery bills on a credit card.
But this is really extraordinary stuff. So Paula reports, the most recent games held in Vancouver and Whistler in February 2025 brought together 543 wounded military veterans from 23 countries. The total cost, 63.2 million Canadian, or approximately $118,352 per competitor. For comparison, the US Warrior Games, a similar competition for wounded American service members, runs on roughly $2 million a year. Germany's Invictus-style competition costs about $200,000 and involves half as many participants. The public's taxes footed a portion of the bill.
For those of you in the United Kingdom, your government handed Invictus £26.6 million of taxpayer money, your money. And when veterans started asking questions about where all of it went, they were blocked on Invictus social media accounts. The Veterans the Charity was built to serve, blocked for asking questions. Now, right in the middle of all of this, something happened at home that told you everything you need to know about the state of that marriage. The very same day Time magazine published Harry's award, Meghan posted a massive photo collection on Instagram. She called it Springing into Summer. She did not mention the award. She did not congratulate her husband. She simply opened the archive and flooded the internet with images clearly designed to pull the attention back where she felt it belonged.
Why Meghan Markle made that totally bizarre Instagram post overnight with
New pictures of her sort of lying with her face covered, weird shots of the garden, of course, Harry and a very odd looking Archie with a football ball. Oh yeah, that's her. We're going to get to the outfit, don't worry. And the chopping of the onions and the dirty t-shirt. But I think what's important is first to tell you why. Why did we get these totally bizarre images that Meghan Markle is calling springing into summer? It's because she wants to overshadow her own husband.
The choices she made were extraordinary. A video of herself chopping onions, badly. A shot lying on the ground with her face covered. A photograph of their daughter in what appeared to be a dirty t-shirt. And a photograph of Harry and their son with a football with a timestamp suggesting it was taken in 2017. She has over 30,000 photographs in her personal collection. Those were the ones she reached for.